welcome back, barbecue fans. Here we are this week with another great interview. We got John Sherry from Chunky BBQ with us today. As always, to my left, Charles Baldwin. I won't do a show without him. And our best bud, Bob Bauman. We grabbed him right out of the truck and said, "You cooked enough for 2 weeks. You got to come do a show."
Get on down.
Yeah. So welcome, John. How you been?
I've been good. How are you guys?
Yeah, well, we're living the dream. Like I told you, I do a barbecue podcast. Life can't be, you know what? I will say, I had to go to a bank meeting today. I haven't had to go to one of those in years, maybe 5 years. And I was on the good side.
Well, that's a change. That's a change for you.
It is. But it was just a weird part of my day. I was like, wow, I had to get dressed. I had to put on long pants.
Put on pants. You have to wear pants.
And get out of the house. It was great. But that's my life. But we're here to talk about you and what you've been doing.
I've got some casual questions. So
So I want you to, and we were upset with you, in some of our other interviews because you go through hell to put these together for us. And thank you very much. I appreciate it. And then you come in and you get a little quiet.
Yeah, I want to hear your questions.
We don't have questions.
That's what people tune in. They don't tune in to see me.
But we can barely spell barbecue. We need help.
So go for it,
John. Let's just kick it right off here with the so a big accomplishment this year is the Grand Am.
Love you.
And GC'd the Invitational. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
With a score of?
It was like 707 and change, I think.
707.
Nice. That's awesome.
What put you over the top?
To be honest, we just really didn't miss. I mean, there wasn't a certain category day one that I think our best call may have been, I think ribs. I think we might have third place rib. But it was just a really consistent cook. What put us over the top, because BBQ finished in reserve. They dropped pork. I think they were down to 20th in pork. And really all through our, we've been doing this, for what? Really going after it since 2020. I mean, honestly, our biggest thing is just consistency. It's just that trying, the teams that win rarely drop a category.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of teams that can maybe get 2 or 3 really good calls, but and those are the cooks I'm usually the most proud of, are the ones, not necessarily, we didn't pop a category, but, maybe we were, say 3rd chicken, 6th rib, 2nd pork, 7th brisket. Because it shows you're just consistent.
Sure. It's not like you whacked brisket and everything else was like, down a little lower. You were very, well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
We hear a lot that, brisket coming last. If you can kill that, you can jump a lot of people.
Yeah, they say the point discrepancy is really the big meats are where what set you apart.
Brisket will put you on.
But that's great. I mean, if you're going top 10 in all your categories, I mean that's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh no, I joke with my wife all the time. If I was as good a brisket cook as we are a pork cook, we could just go on a tear. But brisket's always been my dog. Like when we're scoring well in brisket, we score well overall.
Yep. Yeah.
Our chicken, ribs, pork, we've always done well in. Brisket's it's always been a
bugaboo
struggle.
Yeah.
I mean, again, we can go, for a month or two and we'll be mid upper 170s, and then just out of nowhere we'll drop a 160 in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Nice. So when I met you at Cora 2 years ago, I met you with your wife was cooking there. So does your wife cook with you in every competition? And can you remind me of her name?
So her name's Stephanie.
Okay.
She's at most. I did joke with her though, because I was trying to prove that I could do it without her. And
how'd that go?
So I went. Well, so actually I went down to the Ironman here in Pennsylvania. A judge, Bill Smith, he ran my boxes that day, and sure enough, I go first chicken, first rib, and the pork and brisket call, and won the contest.
Oh.
Wow!
Yeah.
Oh, that must be some interesting talking points at home that week after that. How did that go?
Oh, there was immediately after, she's like, I get the, how did you do? I'm like, first chicken, first ribs, you can stay home.
Take those victories where you can get them, pal.
That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's great.
So what did you think of the Grand Am this year?
I thought it was much better than the year before. Not to say that last year I didn't like, but getting a little closer to a population center, there was definitely more. There was a better vibe around.
Better vibe.
You had more people walking around. Jeremy had a much better turnout as far as teams. I enjoyed it. I mean, I know there were some just minor things with power, but there's not too many competitions that don't have that.
Yeah, there's always,
But Jeremy and Scott they do a fantastic job. I was really pleased with how the new venue, the location, the whole thing.
Yep,
that's great.
I noticed that it was a couple of years ago. You said you were slowing down. So the one year you did 40 something, 42.
I mean, we had 3 years in a row where we did 40,
right.
40 plus.
That's
right.
crazy.
Wow.
That's insane.
And then last year, I think we ended up at 22. This year, we could do 10. We could do 20. It's probably gonna be closer to 10. But we just have stuff around home needs taken care of.
Right.
We got a lot going on. But I keep on joking, again with my wife that there's probably still one more toy run left in us.
Okay.
There's still. I don't know whether it's next year, maybe the year after, but we might ramp up and try one more time and see what we can do.
Right. Yep.
That's great.
So what's the schedule look like this year? So you did the Grand Am. You got anything coming? Are you going to be at Cora?
I'm hoping to be. I love Cora. Right now, the only thing we have definitive, we'll be in West Virginia for Almost Heaven. The Almost Heaven Barbecue Bash next weekend, Father's Day weekend. That's a great contest if you've never been. And then Wildwood, which we will do Wildwood until we're 70.
Missed that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wildwood, New Jersey is another good one.
Yeah.
And then we're thinking about, because I still don't have a bung for the jack, so we might sneak up to. There's a CBA competition, I guess, in Rhode Island last weekend of July.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, there is.
Huh.
Yeah, we might sneak up and try to see if we can't steal one there.
That's
Great.
awesome.
Going back to Wildwood, why is that so special to you?
It helps. We won 3 years in a row.
Okay, that's fair enough.
But also, you're cooking, maybe 50 yards from the beach.
Nice.
So it's I think they get something like 100,000 people through there over the 3 days.
Wow.
It's just different. It's a very relaxed comp. I'll spend Friday and Saturday just smoking cigars.
Yeah.
And then the cook's not till Sunday.
Yeah.
It's just the awards are cool. They have nice payouts. It's just, again, the atmosphere is just different because, again, you're at the beach.
Yeah.
If there's a competition near a beach, we're there.
Yeah.
Great.
So the 100,000 people, they're because they're at the beach.
It's a blues It's a blues barbecue fest.
Okay.
Someone I told you about.
Yeah, maybe. It's not that I don't pay attention when you talk, Bob. It's just no.
Okay.
Yeah, 100,000 people. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that the one you told me that you're right up against a fence and people coming by from the?
Well, I was right along the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Okay. So we were right up.
Right.
So there's that split rail fence, wood fence. And I was right up against the sidewalk.
Yeah.
And people walking by, and then people cutting through the competition to go to the clubs. And what are you doing? I loved it. That had to be probably the best comp I've done.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Nice.
John, how do you feel about that? Do you prefer a open to the public type competition or just the straight competitors only venue?
I wouldn't necessarily have a preference, but they probably need to find a way to have more of a public facing portion. Just far more guys are getting out of the competition cooking that are coming in, so they have to find a way to bring new people in. I'm cool with either one. I enjoy getting a chance to talk with people. They'll usually see this, we bought our offset, which has a pink stack. It's all custom done up. It's an outlaw smoker. like Wildwood. I mean, I'll spend the entire day Saturday just answering questions on the smoker we have.
Yeah.
Nice.
So there's a lot of great interaction with people, trying to get somebody else interested in doing it. But at the same time, I mean, I enjoy, like, say, maybe the campground contest where there is no public and it's just, you're relaxing, you're seeing friends, and you're just cooking for the weekend. But I do think we need more festival type. I think that's how we bring more people in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Totally.
Yeah, when I met you at Cora, first of all, you couldn't have been nicer to me. We showed up, Sue and I showed up as Rhode Island Barbecue News. We didn't even have the podcast back then. And we just went around, met some people, and got some pictures. And you and your wife were super, super nice. You were taking, you had no problem and tell me everything about you guys, and have, standing off for pictures was great. And I think you were all drums then. I think you had 3 drums rolling for that competition.
I mean, we've been on 4 drums. I mean, we've been on 4 drums for really since 2020.
Really?
And trust me, I don't know how many people have asked me, why would you switch? And at the same time, with that said, I mean, we've done a few competitions with the offset. Now, I can say it came out, I think, 4 times last year. It won twice.
Wow.
But part of it's, you get bored, honestly, doing the same thing every weekend.
Oh, I bet.
Like when you're cooking 40 times, you're on autopilot.
Yeah.
So offsets are just fun.
Yeah.
And then, Jay Craig builds a fantastic pit. They're out of Indiana. Like I said, he can, it's custom, it's black, pink, some cool carbon fiber, like, golf cart wheels. Just an amazing cooker.
That's fun. That's fun.
And so that's where I was a little late, getting home, because I found a guy locally who's going to put that on the back of the trailer you saw in Cora. So hopefully that'll be ready just in time to break it out on the back of the trailer for next weekend for West Virginia.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Wow. It's great.
Oh, fantastic. So I'll give you another question. This goes along with, it's more of a, I don't know what you want to say, technical, and how's your seasoning? What do you guys use? Is it something homemade for you, or is there some brand that you prefer and you've been using all along?
Everything we use is commercial.
Okay.
I mean, as far as like rubs and injections, we use it's a lot of Blues Hog and Big Papa Smoker stuff. Sauces, that's I've been playing around with it a little bit this year. One of our sponsors, the Barbecue Bus, he came out with a sweet sauce, and I'm not gonna lie. So I went down to the Iron Man, and I tried. Brian had sent me some, Brian Dwyer from the Barbecue Bus, and I tried it, and it reminded me a lot of our pork sauce. And I had been toying with the idea of taking our pork program and putting it into our ribs and seeing, because ribs were they would still score. They were averaging around a 172. I think right now we're averaging like a 178 or something. And really the one change we made was using the Barbecue Bus sweet sauce. I don't know whether that's what's causing it, but so I've started using that on like ribs and pork. But it's it's a mixture of stuff, but it's all commercial.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, that's great.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of that, did you give Barbecue Bus your address?
No, I have not.
Wah, wah, wah.
Brian had wanted to send us a little care package. He's like, "Get me your address. I'll definitely send you guys some stuff."
He was on the show 2 weeks ago?
A little more than that, but yeah,
2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
We had the Barbecue Bus on.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I mean, I've been using Peep Show on chicken for, I want to say, the last 3 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just like I said, he
right?
sent me the sweet sauce. Yeah, the Peep Show's great. Beef Show is kind of like our brisket program. It's kind of a rotation. Beef Show's is in that rotation. Yep. So I mean, all the stuff Brian's doing right now is pretty good.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And you remind us of that interview a little bit, because he told us too that they're kind of scaling back on competitions. He had, I think he only had three in.
Yeah.
As Brendan, different kind of family complex this year, and he won't cook without him. So
right.
With that baby. Yeah. All right. So I'll get the address. Don't worry. I'll get it out there.
All right.
Jesus
Awesome.
Christ.
We're going to need it for July.
Yeah, if we're going to go
we're going to go up against him.
If we're going to go against John, we better have it.
We better have it.
I'll even show you how to use it.
There you go.
That's awesome.
He poured his sauce in.
Awesome.
Yeah. I got to take a refresher course. So maybe maybe this year.
Bring cigars and some bourbon. You can have all the refreshers you want.
There you go.
There you
Done.
go.
Consider it done.
Small price. Small price.
But you make me laugh because you say you need a refresher course. What are you cooking? Like 3-4 briskets a week now? Every week?
Yeah, probably about 3-4.
So
You might as well
But
be
it's
competing.
but it's different.
Yeah, it is.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure the process is different,
Yeah.
but you're still, you're doing everything you need to do to run that.
Definitely. You get more of a feel of how a brisket acts
Yeah.
and tenderness. The flavor profile is totally different.
Sure.
But-
it has to be.
Yeah, but I mean, when you're sitting there and you're smoking brisket, and then you're picking it up and you're moving it, and you got temperatures going up, going down, going this and that.
Yeah.
You get what works, what doesn't. I still haven't figured it out, but yeah.
Well, that's the beauty of it, right? You can always try different stuff. You can always learn different things. So that's the beauty of barbecue, right?
Yeah.
John, I mean, you can always do little things and improve your game a little bit.
It's one of those. I asked Bill Gillespie probably like 2 years ago, and because I spend far too much time on barbecue data, looking at people's numbers and stats, and Billy has just been insanely consistent for a very long time, and I'm like, what's the secret, to staying, relevant for so long? And his answer was he's always willing to change. He's always willing to adapt.
Sure.
And I think you really do have to in this, because there's always new judges coming in. Those flavor profiles are changing, and a lot of times it's not anything crazy. Because again, like I'm cooking almost the exact same rib as I was last year, but I made one change with our sauce and a small tweak to the injection, and we go from averaging a 172 to, like I said, like right now, like a 178.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big difference, when the scoring's so tight.
Right.
Sure. I mean, for our people listening out there, that's a considerable increase.
Oh yeah, those 8 points.
And those 8 points in barbecue. That's a big number.
Stepping over a threshold. Yep.
Oh.
Sure.
Right. So what's on the schedule coming up? You're in Virginia next week?
West Virginia next weekend.
West Virginia.
And then Wildwood, second weekend of July.
Yep.
Like I said, most likely, we haven't signed up yet. Most likely the Rhode Island CVA at the end of July. Hopefully Cora, Kathy's been after me about that one. But we enjoy the kids queue up there.
Yeah.
So I really want to make it up for that. And then August, September, a lot of it's just going to depend. Like most of my motivation, because it's so hot in Pennsylvania, the Mid-Atlantic, it's so hot in August and September. If we get into the Jack, it'll give me incentive to maybe cook a little more. If we don't, I might play more golf. It's hard to say.
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Just on the side here, what part of Pennsylvania are you from?
So originally I'm from just west of State College,
Okay.
Happy Valley. My wife, she's originally from just north of Pittsburgh, but we currently live just outside of Hershey.
All right. I got family just about an hour south of Harrisburg. So I've been down in that just right before you hit, the Mason-Dixon line down that way. And you're right. It's miserably hot down there in the summer.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not going.
Yeah.
That's right.
You won't see me there.
Forget it.
Yep.
So you got your ticket punched to the World Cup for 27. I mean, how does that make you feel?
I was surprised.
Yeah.
I knew it was a good cook, but BQ had a hell of a cook as well. He had, I believe, 2 180s.
Wow.
And at the same time, the scoring was over 700, so it can get a little wonky anyway. But 2 180s is a lot. And when they called Brian in reserve, I just looked at my wife and like, oh my God, I couldn't believe it.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, there's not a lot of details known on the BBQ World Cup, but still, a chance to cook for $1 million. Like, who wouldn't want to do that?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
No, good point. Who would want to do that? But that was going to be my next question, but you might have already answered it. So are they giving you any indications of, what that field is going to look like as far as total teams and...
all I've really heard is, I've heard is, it's all rumor. Like nothing's been confirmed. I've heard something in the neighborhood that's going to be basically 100 cooks, are going to get in. And then it's almost going to have like a bubble format where there might be some mini, break them into like, bubbles of like 25 for the first day.
Yep.
And then so many move on to day 2. And then again, to move on to the final day.
Yep.
But again, like that's just rumor speculation as far as I know.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like with that number, I mean, you almost have to do it like the NCAA basketball thing, break it into regionals and people come out of those bubbles. Yeah. People come out of those bubbles and you move to the next round. I don't know how else you would handle that number.
I mean, again, if that's the case, I'm personally really looking forward to it. That's one of my, because again, when you get into those like larger contests, if you have 100 teams going against one another, guys are going to hit bad tables. If they're going to break it into a smaller contest where everybody has to hit the same table, it's as fair as you're going to get. But yeah, there's not a lot of details so far, other than I think I saw early April now for the date.
Yeah.
But it's an excuse to go to Vegas in March and, like I said, cook for $1 million. So why not?
Yeah,
bring the clubs. Bring the clubs.
Yeah, definitely.
No.
John, I'm a knucklehead. What do you mean by tables? Hitting the same tables.
So I mean, if you get into like it's like my personal favorite contest is a 4-table contest. So, and that's generally around, and I don't, it's been a while since I've seen like the matrix they use, but generally around 24, 25, 26 teams. They'll seat 4 tables of judges.
Okay.
And so then since there's 4 meets, everybody has to hit the same table. Now you get into say, 100 team contest, you might have, what would that be? Close to 15, 16 tables.
Yeah.
Oh,
now all of a sudden you have now you have the teams that hit say those lower end tables versus the high, because there's always and I'm not talking like angel tables or tables of death. It's just math. There's always going to be higher scoring table. There's always going to be a low scoring table.
Got you.
And so which table do you are you fortunate enough to get on some of the higher scoring tables, or did you lose the barbecue bingo and you're on one of those lower scoring tables?
Yep.
So
what is the barbecue flavor of Vegas?
It's a great question. You mean just the
Like
atmosphere?
like what's the like really you could break down regions, like there's the Northeast, there's the Mid-Atlantic, there's the South, there's the Midwest, Texas.
Where do you think they put them geographically?
I have that's Nevada. I have no idea what the barbecue style is out that way. I mean, it's kind of American Southwest, so I would think there's
Tex-Mex.
Yeah, I would think there's some kind of influence that way. But honestly, never looked into it. What kind of
just curious.
Yeah, no, it's a fair question. Caroline has their couple of styles they do, and then Texas is big beef.
Yeah,
no.
I mean, as long, in competition though, especially like for KCBS, and I don't know what format they're really using, but as far as like in KCBS, the regions don't really matter a whole lot.
Correct.
We run basically because so one, teams travel, but so do judges.
Yeah.
Like there's judges I see anywhere from Tennessee to New Jersey to the Northeast, down south. I can even we won South Carolina Festival Discovery a few years ago, and we're walking off the stage, and the local reporter was there, and he stopped me. He's like, "Sir, do you mind if I ask you a question?" I'm like, "Hey, sure." And he's like, "How did a guy from Pennsylvania just come to South Carolina and win a barbecue contest?" And I had to explain to him again, like I get the real. We lived in South Carolina for a bit, so I understand the regional differences. But KCBS, those judges travel, so you're not getting South Carolina judges. You're getting judges out of Tennessee, out of the Northeast, and again, I was just fortunate to hit the right combination of tables down there. So the regional differences, again, just specific to KCBS anyway, really don't matter.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I will say, like some places, like if you get down into Florida, Georgia, they do like it a little sweeter. But we tend to be on the sweeter side anyway.
Mm-hmm.
We've been running, again, like there's small tweaks, but we've been running the same program for 3-4 years now. We've had, we've won as far west as Kansas City. We've done well in the Carolinas, getting close to the Deep South, and even into the Northeast. So the biggest thing is just nailing your tenderness.
Yep.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, that's
If your food's good, it takes care of it, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Right.
There's
Yep.
Proof's in the pudding.
Right.
John, have you guys ever considered getting into the game of rubs and sauces and marketing any of that stuff?
I've had passing thoughts on it, but I don't know. I don't know. Is that worth the squeeze? I don't know.
Yeah.
Because it's the same thing like people say about food truck or restaurant. I mean, that's just absolutely no.
Right.
Because again, we actually just enjoy the competition aspect. Like I enjoy going out, seeing my friends, having a cigar or two.
The barbecue family. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
No,
So-
I get that. But the reason why I bring it up is, we talk to a lot of people and you resonate. Your name and your competition name comes up quite a bit of people who are influenced by you guys, and if they have or if they're creating something, they'll lean out to you and get your opinions on them and stuff. So I figured your brand is up there in the competition world. It must be easy to cross over. Now I know the space that retail space is very congested. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not saying it's economically advisable to go that route.
Right.
But like I said, whenever we say, hey, when you make this, like, what do you do? Like, who's your board? Who's your clearinghouse? And your name comes up, so I think that's pretty cool. That's a great honor, I think, to have, first of all.
I think even for me, because for me to say if I wanted to come out with, say, a pork injection, because we've been a very strong pork team really for the last 5 to 6 years. I've been using Big Papa Smokers pork prod the entire time.
Yeah.
Have not changed. So for me to come out with something and say, hey, this is this world champion pork injection, it just would be, for me, it's just disingenuous to say, hey, buy my pork injection. When in reality, I've been using Big Papa Smokers for 5 years.
Yeah.
Great point. We talked about this with Barbecue Bus. You want to have something that is your own, ideal, scope of pattern, but at the same time, it's going to taste like something else, or something else you're using is really making your day. So good point. Very good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. We thought about coming up with maybe a pork rub again, just because we are a strong pork team. But again, it's one of those, I'm like, I've been using sweet and savory, I've been using Sweet Money from Big Papa Smoke. Like I had been using the same thing for so long. It's just, I would just be lying to people if I say, oh, hey, I'm using that.
Right.
It's Blues Hog and Big Papa Smokers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fair. Yeah. I love people that are transparent. It's great.
Yep.
Yeah.
So-
that market is so saturated.
Yeah, I feel that way.
Yeah.
But then I feel that way, but then again, this is all we do. So it's like, of course, we're going to hear all about rubs. I have a pretty extensive, I'm going to say, younger family, nieces and nephews, right? I probably get about 20 of them. And they all come back to me about the barbecue and such. And they're like, oh, what should I use for this? And what should I, they have no clue.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can say some of the classics like Sweet Baby Ray's or something, and they're like, oh, I know that, but like if you name some of the names that John was just going through,
Right.
They're lost. They're clueless.
Yeah.
I always tell these guys, 3 years ago, I went to Stop and Shop if you're looking for rub or barbecue, and you had 6 choices.
Yeah.
Now you go there and you've got an entire shelf of 37 different rubs, and so it's really blown up. Blown up.
Right.
And those are the mass produced.
Yeah.
Just
crazy how many options there are now.
Ace Hardware and these local places now have all these.
Yep.
These
smaller brands.
These craft meat markets.
That's the word.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's it? Meat.
They've broken into the
Meat
mainstream.
Bar, for example.
Yeah.
And they all have their unique. I think Meat Bar does one that's American Vets stand behind. So that's his thing with that. I've never used it. I don't know how it tastes, but
you really recommended that comp in West Virginia. What is it again? Mm-hmm. What's the name of it?
It's the Almost Heaven Barbecue Bash.
Okay.
The organizer is fantastic. Judge Jody does a great job. She'll have a team. It's like a team judge and she has like a catered dinner Friday night for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
There's a cash bar. Everybody just can just sit around, socialize, have a good time. And then, I mean, she gets a great turnout. You know, she gets teams in from, many, multiple states. I mean, I know she has Kings coming up from Florida. Smoked and Furious is coming out from Oklahoma.
Wow.
And I'm trying to think where, and she usually has some like an international team or two as well. It's definitely a bucket list one. It's not the easiest drive down into West Virginia, but
Right.
they have a festival going on alongside it. It's the judging's usually it's usually pretty good.
It's
one of the better comps.
What's the venue? Is it like a fairground?
It's not a fairgrounds. They have it. I'm trying to kind of describe it. They kind of like an amphitheater park that they hold. I want to say it's like Jawbone Park. So the teams are a little more spread out, just depending on power and size setups. But they basically just shut the town down for the weekend and host the teams, and it's a good time. There's lots of food vendors, just like kind of a carnival type atmosphere.
Nice.
John, obviously, a good organizer can make or break the competition.
Absolutely.
Have you run into some awfully run?
It's not going to tell you.
No, you without naming names, obviously. But what's the worst
experience you had at a competition?
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
Really pissed you off.
That's just a no comment there.
No names.
I mean, because I know Kathy Traynor had asked me, she's like, John, what do you look at? I mean, one of the things we've always looked at is the organizer.
Yeah.
Have we had? I mean, honestly, more recently, not really. Recently, most things have been good. Early on, there were definitely a couple. I won't name them, but there were just organizers who. How's a good way to put it? The teams weren't the focus, and you do run into that at times. But I mean, it's just you're almost treated like an afterthought.
Yeah.
And I mean that's the reason why, like I said, we really enjoy Jeremy and Scott comps. Like they do a fantastic job. They're they're great with the teams. Kathy up in Cora, Kathy does a great job with Cora. We have we have Andrew Schaefer. I feel bad for Jody. I can't remember her last name with West Virginia. But we have a lot of good organizers in on the East Coast, Mid-Atlantic. But yeah, I mean, generally speaking, I can't think of. I mean, even if I could, I won't say because there's anybody who listens to this is going to know there's one that I just but we're just not gonna we're not gonna throw anybody under the bus.
Yeah,
so.
right.
I will travel for I tell anybody I will travel for cool trophies and an organizer.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. That's great. Cool trophies.
Great information.
Yeah.
Love it.
What's the coolest trophy you have?
Do you have any glass apples?
That's on the bucket list.
It's on the bucket list.
Right. The coolest one has to be the Royal Trophy.
Oh yeah. Come on, you go home with a crown.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Right?
A crown in a robe.
All right. Listen, John, fess up. You wear the crown around?
Yeah, do you wear?
I absolutely have.
Yeah,
I 100% have.
Cleaning out the grills with the crown.
We took it up to Cora last year.
That's
because the kid that we mentor for Kids Q, he wanted to see us. Kathy, hey, would you mind bringing it up? I'm like, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we got a picture. He was wearing my crown, and then he had actually got me a Burger King.
Oh, nice.
And so we got a picture of me wearing that one, him wearing my royal crown. It was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
That is.
Why have toys if you're not going to play with them? That's what I always say.
Exactly.
What's the? How do I want to put this? What's the strangest thing you've had happen at one of your competitions? Something out of the box that either went your way or maybe didn't go your way that you remember in all the years you've been doing this?
I mean, I can tell you at the Grand Am, the day when we won the Invitational, I was boxing my ribs. And so I was doing 4-on-4, 4 in the back, 4 on top. And I got him in the box. And I looked at him. I'm like, and I've never done this. Like once I get him in the box, they're done. And I got him in the box and I looked at it. I didn't like it. And my wife's looking at me and she's looking at her one job during turning is to watch the clock.
Uh-huh.
And it was probably 12:30. And I'm like, I'm pulling those top ones out. I'm repositioning them. So I pull the top 4 out and I kind of just sort of shimmy to the side to put them back on the board. They fell off the spatula.
Oh.
They literally went face down.
Oh. What do you do? What do you do?
You curse a little bit, and
A tad.
and then you do the best you can, because I mean, I only at that point, I mean we were close to turning, but I probably had a minute or two to get them back where I wanted them, so just kind of repolished them, made them. They didn't look nearly as pretty as they did the first time going in the box. And of course, I'm just like, oh, I can't believe I did, going on and on and on. Get them back in the box, and we go to awards, and we're sitting behind Machete Boys, and he turns around, he's like, "How'd you do, John?" I'm like, "I guarantee I'm getting a rib call today." And he's like, "Why?" I'm like, "I dropped my ribs." I go, "I hated them." I was like, "So I guarantee if there's one call I'm going to get, it's going to be ribs."
Yeah. And
sure enough, that was, like I said, I think we were third ribs that day.
That's great.
For that. So it's always the one, and it's not the first time. I know Steph, we GC'd in Blairstown the year they were filming Barbecue USA.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she dropped we were boxing our chicken, and she dropped the thigh. She had it in her hand, and she dropped it. It literally went skin side down onto the cutting board. And so I had a great cook, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, "You cost me a GC today." And so, and everybody's been to a Jeremy contest. Like, he does single meats Friday night, single meat Saturday night, and we were doing single meat rib Saturday night, so I didn't go to awards. And so Steph goes to awards by herself, and she was sitting with Urkel from Uncle Pig's Barbecue Pit.
Yeah.
And we get, I believe, I think we got like second pork, third brisket with like 50 teams. So those are two pretty good calls in a big field. And she was all nervous. So I guess Urkel had asked her. He's like, "What's wrong?" And she's like, "I dropped chicken. If he doesn't do well, he's going to blame me."
I'm walking home.
Well, so I'm in working on ribs for the single meat, and there's a knock on the door, and I look, and and it's Urkel. He comes in, and he's like, "Johnny, I'm sorry." I'm like, "What happened?" And he's like, last place chicken, brother." Oh. And I'm like, "You got to be kidding me." And I kid you not, he starts laughing. He's like, "Nah." He's like, "You GC'd his trophy behind him." And I'm like, "You just about gave me a heart attack."
Yeah.
Just shaved a few years off your life that you can't spare.
Oh, he did. He got me good.
That's awesome.
But it's just odd how but again, that's a lot of what barbecue is, though. I mean, it's we always say it's those last 15 minutes, when it comes to turning, and it's like, when that stuff happens, what do you do?
Right.
And like I said, there's always a little bit of cursing, but you resauce it and put it in the box.
That's a great story.
I always have to thank our sponsors. We have Sugar Mountain Farms Chicken, Big Papa Smokers, the Barbecue Bus, Lancaster Barbecue Supply. Really can't thank Lancaster Barbecue Supply enough. Tyler does a lot for me. I mentioned how there's a guy coming out from Oklahoma, Kurt Wallace. He calls me yesterday, and he's like, he needed somewhere to ship 4 drums.
Oh wow!
And I don't have like a loading dock or anything. And I'm like, "Hey, I know." So I Lancaster Barbecue Supply can accept this, but I didn't run it by Tyler. I'm just like, "Oh yeah, go ahead and ship it there." And so I'm texting him at 9. And I'm texting him at 9:30 at night. I'm like, "Hey Tyler, by the way, I told a guy it's okay to ship 4 drums to your store. Hopefully that's okay, and if it's not, then Steph did it." But
that's awesome.
Yeah, Lancaster's been great though.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay,
awesome. That's great. Well, I thank you very much for being here this week, Bob. Thank you for setting this up.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And
Thanks,
we
John.
can't wait to see you in Rhode Island. We're gonna
bring it on.
We're gonna kick your pants. By the way.
Yeah.
We're gonna drop our chicken all over the ground, and we're gonna win.
we will most certainly be there. So we'll see you there.
Yeah,
be gentle.
Great.
Be gentle.
Yeah. Talk nice about us at some point. That's all we say. No, this is great. I really much appreciate
Thank you, John.
And the time you spent today.
What a fantastic interview from John.
He's a classic guy.
That was one of the really best ones, I think. I mean, so much great information, and
I very much appreciated that. And I also appreciated visiting Bob over in Blackbird Farm this past weekend.
Did you go?
I did. I stopped by. Yep.
And what were we running at Blackbird Farm? Were we running the ham?
No ham this time.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have a very popular item now. It's going to
Yeah, that's right.
You want to give us a little preview of that, or you want to
You got to get there early, or you're going to only look at pictures like I
Pork
did.
belly lollipops.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do remember you saying something. Okay, pork belly lollipop.
So that's great. Well, I wish you the best of luck. So get there. Right now, he's there, guys. It's 3 o'clock on Friday. He's out in the truck right now. Go out and get some barbecue. We love you. Thank you for all your support. And we'll see you again next week.
Yeah.
Go
eat some barbecue, man.
Yeah.
Have a good time. I hate to blow this guy's spot up, but he's hot right now.
No.
Get out there, man. You will not be disappointed.
Take care.
Be safe.
No adios.
Adios, amigos.